Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the AI revolution. It's this technology that feels like it just appeared out of nowhere, right? But as we're going to see, its roots go way, way deeper than you might think. We're going to break down how it works, what it can actually do for us, and maybe most importantly, why some of the people who created it are now sounding the alarm.
Okay, so let's just start with a question that's on everybody's mind. AI is already kind of woven into the fabric of our lives, right? From our phones to our hospitals. But just how powerful is it, really? And, how much more powerful is it about to get? And this quote, this warning from computer science experts really gets right to the heart of the matter. I mean, think about it. If we can't tell what's real anymore, how do we even function as a society? This is exactly why understanding AI isn't just for tech geeks anymore. It's becoming an essential skill for all of us. So let's dig into how this whole revolution really got started, because it might feel like it all just happened in the last couple of years. But the seeds for this, they were planted decades ago. All of a sudden, literally anyone could have a full-on conversation with a computer. You could ask it to write a poem, help you plan a vacation, or even debug some code. It made AI feel incredibly personal and powerful. But of course, right alongside all that excitement, the headlines started filling up with some pretty serious fears. About jobs being lost and this massive new wave of misinformation. When you look at this timeline, what's really striking is just how slow the burn was. And then, boom, a sudden explosion. For decades, AI was mostly this theoretical thing stuck in research labs. It took 46 years just to get from coining the name to beating a chess grandmaster. But then it took only 25 more to put AI in pretty much everyone's pocket. That incredible leap just shows you how fast this thing is accelerated.
So what changed? What was the big breakthrough? How did we get from a machine that just follows the rules of chess to one that can, generate what feel like totally original ideas? Well, the answer is a fundamental shift in the core technology itself. This slide really breaks it down into two different flavors. You have the classic AI, like that chess computer, Deep Blue. It was powerful for sure, but it was also rigid. Humans programmed it with all the rules and told it exactly what to do. The real game changer was when we stopped giving machines specific instructions and instead, we taught them how to learn for themselves, using the human brain as a model.
So the big idea was to create an artificial version of how our own brains learn. Instead of a programmer writing code for every single possible decision, they built this complex system of interconnected digital neurons. At first, these connections are totally random, but they get stronger or weaker as the system chews through data and gets feedback. It's that process that allows it to actually learn from experience.
And this simple little loop right here, this is the engine of all modern AI. When you repeat this process millions or even billions of times, the machine can learn at a scale that's just superhuman. Take DeepMind's AlphaGo. At first it learned by studying human games, but then it started playing against itself over and over, constantly tweaking and improving. And eventually, it started developing these strategies that were so alien, so creative, that human masters actually thought they were mistakes, right up until they turned out to be absolutely brilliant.
With this incredibly powerful new way of learning, AI isn't just playing games anymore. It's making a profound impact on the real world, offering some incredible hope while also creating some pretty significant new dangers.
The secret sauce here is pattern recognition, but on a massive scale. An AI can sift through millions of data points to find these subtle connections that are completely invisible to the human eye. And that's how it can do things like predict breast cancer risk from a mammogram years before a doctor could, or figure out the shape of a protein, a problem that used to take scientists decades to solve for just one. It is truly unlocking new frontiers in medicine.
But, there's always a dark side to this kind of creative power. The exact same technology that can generate a brand new protein structure can also generate a very, very convincing lie. And this power to deceive on a massive scale, it threatens the very foundation of our shared reality.
This quote actually comes from a deep fake video from 2018, created by the filmmaker Jordan Peele. He used AI to convincingly put his words into President Obama's mouth. It went viral, and for a lot of people, it was a huge wake-up call. It was one of the first times we all saw just how easily this tech could be weaponized to spread disinformation.
For most of human history, if you wanted to create a believable fake, you needed incredible skill, a lot of time, and huge resources. Basically, stuff only governments or Hollywood studios had. But as this table shows, AI has totally changed the game. It has democratized the power to manipulate reality, essentially putting a tool for mass disinformation into the hands of anyone with a computer. And if you want to see the real-world cost, well, just look at this number. In May 2023, a fake AI-generated image that looked like an explosion at the Pentagon went viral. And even though it was debunked pretty quickly, the panic it caused was real enough to temporarily wipe $500 billion off the US stock market. It's just a shocking example of how fragile our information world has become.
So we've seen the incredible potential, and we've seen the clear and present dangers. Which brings us to the defining question of our time, really. What do we do? How do we even begin to move forward?
And look, these aren't just concerns coming from outsiders. These worries are coming from the very people who built this technology. They're worried about all of it, from AI supercharging online hate and wiping out jobs, to a crazy competitive race between companies that put speed way ahead of safety.
And this is probably the most sobering message of all. The people who understand this technology the best are taking the risks so seriously that they are comparing it to pandemics and nuclear war. I mean, when the architects of AI sound an alarm that loud, the rest of the world really needs to listen.
So here we are, standing at this profound crossroads. The challenge for all of us is to figure out how to harness AI's incredible power to solve our biggest problems, while at the very same time, building the guardrails to manage its enormous risks. It's a balancing act that is, without a doubt, going to define our future. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.